back at it again, and we've got one here from the Daily Caller that we're going to be diving into. Make sure you guys go show the Daily Caller some major love, subscribe to their YouTube channel, and let them know that we appreciate everything that they do over there. All right? But before we hop into it, like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and make sure you are following me on social media too, including my Discord server. It is the first link down below in the description box. It's basically just a glorified chat room. It's totally free to join. Hope to see you over there, all right? And with that being said, let's dive in.
It was a bad deal, though. They got an arms dealer.
The worst trade deal in the history of deals?
Probably.
The U.S. government has traded Brittney Griner for a Russian arms dealer that we were holding here.
I like the trade. He's an arms dealer. Who cares?
I'm asking, do you think it's a good trade? What's your opinion?
It was okay. I mean, it was a trade. I'd say overall, it's good to bring home American citizens.
No, because Paul Whelan, I mean, he's like a veteran, and I think that he deserves to come home too. Brittney Griner receives a lot more attention, and obviously, like, she should have been able to come home, and I'm glad that she is. At the same time, is that equal for an arms trader?
People point to a man.
Exactly. Bing, bing. And I dropped a YouTube short on my opinion on this, and I called it the worst trade in history. Biden is the worst GM known to man. The worst. You think of the sport, you think of the GM, and Biden is worse than that GM. All right? The worst GM you can think of in sports, Biden is worse than that. You know, and I think I equated it to trading someone like LeBron James and Anthony Davis for Al Horford. If anybody knows basketball, then you understand how lopsided that trade is. Or if you want to talk about football, it's like trading Micah Parsons, Trey Diggs, and Dak Prescott for Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? For all of my football fans or anybody that knows football, so you can understand the reference. I equated it to that, you know, and you know, for those that haven't seen that short, you know, that trade is so lopsided. It doesn't make any sense. When I think his name is Victor Bout, I think that's his name. When the arms dealer, when he does his thing, people end up in pine boxes, all right? Gone, never to return to this earth in the same form ever again. When Brittney Griner does hers, she puts a ball in a rim. When she does her thing, like, make that make any type of sense. You know what I mean? Like, you got somebody that puts people in pine boxes, and you got somebody that puts a ball in a rim. It's not really adding up to me. It doesn't add up at all. Like, and you know, they tried to come out with the excuse, oh, it was one of them or no one. Well, I believe it was CNN, and I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong on this. I believe, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong, it was CNN. They originally came out with the story, and it exposed the actual truth. They were given an option. They were given an option. It was Paul Whelan or Brittney. It wasn't both, but it was or. And that story was wiped. If you guys saw that or heard anything about that, let me know. I can't remember where I saw that. I can't think. It might have been on Instagram or something, or Twitter. But like, they came out with the story and then like immediately wiped it. And then the story that came out later, it was Brittney or nobody. And I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. That doesn't even make any sense. You already told us the truth, but now you're trying to change it up? Nah, not buying into it. Not buying into it. Let's jump back into the video, though.
Named Paul Whelan. He was arrested in Russia for spying, and people are saying maybe we should have released him.
President Biden could have done a little bit better, but, you know, it's not the end of the world. He still brought home an American citizen.
Maybe we got a little taken advantage of. We could have gotten more for it because of the difference in why they were being captured. It's probably very obvious to Russia that it's not very fair.
I personally don't agree with that exchange. There's many other people who probably should have gotten out.
Yeah, it was definitely a bad trade because bringing marijuana into Russia was a mistake on her part, and I think she deserved to serve time for it. Understandably, she's going into a country that has harsher laws than the United States. She needs to keep that in mind. These athletes think that they're above the law, and I think that was the major takeaway. It wasn't an ideal situation, but the trade that we did was not smart.
The worst trade deal in the history of deals.
Exactly.
I don't think that.
Bang. Bang. We traded someone, or we left someone who didn't commit a crime for someone who did. Paul Whelan, if you don't know the story, and I'll just quickly summarize it, he was simply there for a friend's wedding. He was there for a friend's wedding. Okay? And was accused of being a spy. Thrown in jail. Done. Brittany, on the other hand, actually committed a crime. Now, granted, and I've said this before, and some of you guys have disagreed with me, and that's totally fine. I get it. We're not going to always agree on every single thing. I don't expect us to, okay? I said her sentencing was harsh. To get 9 years for some cartridges, it's a bit extreme. But you committed a crime. You committed a crime. I agree, the sentencing was harsh, but you still committed a crime. Paul, on the other hand, didn't. Make that make sense. Anyway, let's continue on.
Not smart.
The worst trade deal in the history of deals.
Exactly.
I don't think that might have been like the smartest move. It doesn't seem like an even trade.
It was necessary under the distinction that being like a woman playing basketball, like you're not traveling around the country like having that kind of perception that like something like that could happen to you.
It was a lot more pressing because she was a celebrity to some degree, so she got priority. I'm sure there are lots of other people that should probably be let out.
Yeah, and I think it's valid to have that concern about the priority. Obviously, that is like a pressing issue.
The problem people have with it is the priorities here. You could have taken like a military personnel back.
And she has no training to be dealing in a situation like that, like being basically trapped like against her will and whatnot. And when you think about someone who was trained by like the U.S. Army, military, whatever it happened to be, like that's their perception of like what they're getting involved with, first of all, and second of all, like they're trained to be in situations.
Bro, put her in the military. Let her go fight for the. Oh my goodness, that is so disrespectful to the men and women of our military. That is so disrespectful. Oh well, you knew what you were signing up for, so it's fine. Okay, well fine. They're done fighting for us. If something goes down, you stand on the front lines and fight. Or we all die. Well, we know the outcome of that. We know damn sure she ain't standing up and fighting. I'm disgusted. I am just absolutely. I'm sorry to the men and women of our military. Listen, I appreciate y'all. I understand. Okay, this stuff is just. I'm sorry, but that's just. That makes your blood boil a little bit, you know. Holy.
It's like that. So that's why I say it was necessary.
Do you think it was a good trade? What's your
Yeah, I think it was good to bring her home, but I think there's a lot more work to do in terms of bringing other people home, military people that are still in Russia.
I feel like if we were going to give back this guy to Russia, we would have got one of our own, like, U.S. military that's captive in Russia. I feel like it would have been more fair than Brittany Griner.
I hear a ton of stories about like college kids that go abroad and they don't come back, but we don't do anything for them. It's not in the media at all, like nobody cares, but because she's a basketball player, because she's famous, then they traded it, which is great that she's back, like of course, because it's better to save someone than no one. I think it's a bit biased because they're saving someone who's famous, but not anybody else.
Again, it's one more person back, but it does seem unfair.
As an international here, I think that trading like a sport persona is really an American thing. Like in France or Monaco or in Europe in general, I think that politics clearly like has, how do you say, like, is the priority. Sport is not.
3 yays, 11 nays. And even 3 is too much. Even 3 is too much. I'll accept 1. Because, of course, you're going to always have, an outlier. You're going to always have, someone with a fried brain. But, my goodness. My goodness. I'm just disgusted. I'm disgusted. Man. Some of these folks, man. Don't let me become president. Please don't. Please do not, because I'm advocating at least for people like that young lady who disrespected our military men and women. I am advocating for those people to be put on the front lines. You have to go fight. Since you think it's all fun and games and, oh, well, that's what they're signed up for, so just leave them there. That's what they deserve. Since that's your mindset, you go fight. You go do it. It's nothing. Remember? It's nothing. We'll train you, We're not going to, throw you to the wolves, or nothing like that. We'll train you well to the best of our abilities. We'll arm you with the best equipment possible. But you go fight. You go do it. See if you say that same crap then when you get captured. You're like, no, come save me. Come save me. Please, come save me. Don't just leave me here. I fought for you guys. I fought for you. Come save me. I don't have anything more to say. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Shout out to all of the men and women of our military, too. We appreciate you. I'm out.